Right, guys. So prospecting, um, definitely one of the most important things you want to focus on and learn. I think before we go into these specific scripts, one of the things you want to realize and remember is that there's many, many ways to reach out to people. And just like Samir said, you got to be creative. Mercedes came up with a new way, right? Every year, every month in this business, it's like you learn a new way to reach out to people. So don't ever feel that you don't have a way to talk to somebody. There's some way. You just got to reach out. You can make it up. But today we're going to give you some scripts that you can actually use. So make sure you're taking notes. I think we sent out the slides already to the standard Telegram, but there's many, many ways. And I didn't come up with all of these. I've copied them from many leaders in the business. So copy them and then just use them, right, moving forward. So when we look here, we're going to start off with some warm market prospecting. There we go. All right, so the first is just 2 text messages that you can use. The first one is going to be for potentially setting up a training appointment, right? If you set up a training appointment with someone that's qualified, you can still recruit them as well. And then the second message is going to be specifically for the opportunity, right, and making some extra money. So the first one came from Samir. He gave us this script like years ago, and I have used the same one since. I've taught my new trainees to use this once they're licensed, right? Or if you've been in the business for a while, you can use the same script. So first off, it'll say, hey, Brandon, how are you? I haven't talked to you in a while. I was thinking about you, and I just started working with a new financial company. I'm now licensed, and I need some help building my client base. You actually fit in the exact demographic of people that we look for. So I was wondering if I could sit down with you and your spouse and just simply show you what I do. Obviously, if they're not married, don't say spouse, right? If you see value in it, maybe you could potentially refer me to others in a similar situation. And of course, there's no obligation. Would you be willing to do me that favor? Would love to, right? If it's someone you know, I mean, what can they say to that? It's just asking for a favor, asking for help, right? A brand new recruit, they know the fee-for script that we use, and we're always asking for a favor. This is just kind of now in a text message version that you can send out. So literally, this is your warm market. You can go through your phone A through Z and just send this same message to every single person that's qualified and see if you can get an appointment, okay? Next text is for the business opportunity specifically. So we got this from Jackie Ashford, right? She used this, and I think a couple other people in the business use this as well, top leaders. And you're just texting about making extra money. Hey, how are you? My company is growing crazy right now because you can make money from anywhere in the world. If you can make an extra $500 to $1,000 a week part-time from the comfort of your home, would you want more information? Who's going to say no to that? $500 to $1,000 a week part-time? At least they're going to be curious and ask a couple more questions, but no one's just going to flat out say no to that, right? So it's just like Samir said, piquing somebody's interest. So again, literally, you could go through your phone. I've done this before. So start from A to Z and just go through. And there's people in my phone that I don't even remember how I met them, but they're in my phone, right? Tanya Poe had an audio out a while ago and was like, oh, I never cold prospect because I have thousands of numbers in my phone. If I have their phone number, they knew me somehow and trusted me some way for me to have their phone number, right? So you can go through your phone if you haven't already and send this message out, right? And if they don't remember you, remind them, hey, I think we might have met this place, right? But it's another option to send out text messages. Okay, so that's hot and warm market people that you know. Anybody have questions about that before I move on? All right, so next, Facebook. So let's say you don't have their phone number. Some people are like, oh, I don't have a lot of people's phone numbers, but I have them on Facebook. So these are 2 messages that you can use for that as well. The first message is going to be for people that you actually know. The second message will be for people that you may not know. So you can just message random people. So the first one, hey, Maren, I hope you and your family are doing well. And obviously you can change that to 2022. And say safe and healthy. Not sure if you're aware or not, but Mike and I, we have our own business running a financial firm, and we're looking for new talent who would like to work remotely. just curious when it comes to work or income opportunities, you keep your options open. Sure. Right. So, right. So I'll send that message, and a lot of times, so on Facebook, giving you guys some technical sides of it. When you're sending messages on Facebook, you could probably send about 50 per day before they're like, hey, pause on that a little bit. So you can send 50 as much as you want, pause, and then you can restart again. But you can go through that as well. Go through all of your friends, your entire friend list, and send this out. And not everyone's going to respond right away. When I was Facebook prospecting heavily, there'd be people that I would message and I wouldn't get a response back. Maybe like 6 months later, they just haven't checked their Facebook, right? So with that, send the messages out. If you do it consistently, you'll get some responses. There was a period of time where I got 6 directs in a month just from sending that message. Just from that message. So it's definitely something you can use, and that's your warm marketing. Okay. Next message is for someone you don't know. So how do you figure out who you message that you don't know? You can go to your friends and then find a friend and then find somebody in their friends list and message them, right? So that's one way. Second way is there's a, what is it called? People you might know option that pops up on your Facebook as well. So how does that populate? That's because based on your friends and mutual friends, there's people that you might know. You might not know them, but that's someone you can message, right? So that's how you can kind of look through it. Also, I think that there's ways to look up specific cities so that you can go through and look up cities wherever you're at, if you're out of state, whatever the case may be, and message people using this message as well. You do not have to be their friend to message them. Okay, so if this message says, hey, I run a financial firm in the Northern Virginia area, and I'm currently networking and looking for some key people for full-time or part-time roles. You scroll across my people you may know tab. I don't know if you keep your options open or know anyone else that might be, but if you do, please let me know the best contact number and email to reach you so I can put more information in your hands. Thanks, Shondell. Right, so very professional message that you can send out. And before I started reaching out to warm market people, I was doing this for a very long period of time too, and got great results. So 2 good messages, warm market and cold market, that you can use on Facebook. Anybody have questions? All right, Cheryl.
Just like question. So when you are using the first one for your warmer people,
Yep.
what they hit you back with, what is it or what is it?
What is it? Yeah, great. And that's what Maren said. Usually that's what they're gonna ask. What is it? Well, hey, I'd love to get you some more information, Cheryl, but let me get your number and I can text you some more details, right? So I usually want to take my conversation off of social media, get their number so I actually have a contact, and then I'll text them. And just, it's a second message. Hey, it's financial services. You can use something similar to what Mercedes said. I have a quick video to get you some more details about the opportunity. What is financial services? Great question. All right, so now prospecting through your new recruits. So anytime you bring in a new recruit, you're recruiting somebody for 2 reasons: to find a leader and to find more places to go, right? So when you have your new recruit, you're going to have your fast start meeting or orientation, onboarding, whatever you guys want to call it. And you go through that process, you build a list with them, and then we need to contact that list. So primarily for me, I use the 3-way text message, okay? So let's say I hired Maren. We do the orientation, she builds an initial list, we get 10 contacts that are interested in the business side, right? There's a 3-way text as well for the qualified market for clients, but this one specifically is for the business. So we make that list and Maren says, okay, hey, these are my 10 people I'd love to get into business with. Maren's gonna now send those messages out. So let's say she says she has Brandon on that list, Samir on that list, she'll send a message saying, hey, Brandon, I just started working with the company part-time. They're looking for talent. I thought of you. Expect a call from Josh. This is his number. He's also on this message. Okay. So that message is a 3-way. It goes with Josh, Maren, and Brandon. They're all in that same message. Okay. So what is that helping a brand new person do? They don't have to call the person. Hopefully they don't have to answer a ton of questions. Josh, as the trainer, can now overcome the objections, make the phone call. All the person has to do is send the text initially. I can't tell you countless times where I'm in a fast start meeting and the person's a little nervous about making a phone call. Yes, we'll eventually teach you how to do that, but could you just send the text, right? And they're like, okay, I think I can do that. And you walk them through the process. And before I have them send out the text, if there's any apprehension, I'll walk through exactly the phone script that I'm going to go through when I call. So they understand what I'm going to say after they even send the message out, and that helps with any hesitation that they may have as well. So let's run through it a little bit. So I think we said Brandon. So hi, might I please speak to Brandon?
Yes, this is it.
Hi, Brandon. This is Shondell Dovey. How are you doing today?
All right, how are you, Shonda?
I'm doing great, doing great. I was actually just calling because we have mutual friends with Maren. Did you get the text from her?
No, I didn't.
You didn't. Okay, maybe it didn't go through. Well, either way, Maren, she actually just started working with our financial company part-time, and we're expanding. And she actually said you're sharp, hardworking, ambitious, money motivated. I was wondering if you had a couple minutes to discuss the career opportunity.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So that's kind of the initial part. I'm not gonna go through the whole thing. I'll ask him a little bit about what he does for work now, maybe how he knows Maren, build a little bit of rapport there, and then find out if he's open to making some extra money part-time, and then get him set up to watch either the 20-minute animated video or the expansion webinar, either one that you're using. So that's it, right? So that's working and prospecting through your new recruit and their work market. Anybody have questions on that? Okay. And then just to give you guys an idea, I don't have the script up here, but for the client side, it's a little different. It's called a character reference text. So that text will just say, hey, Maren, I just started working with a new company part-time and I listed you as a character reference. I just want to know if you can help me out and expect a call from Shondell. That's it. Super simple. And then now when you call the character reference, you just find out a little bit about the person. So I could run through that. So if I can please speak to Mike.
Yes, this is he.
Hi, Mike. This is Shondell Dovey. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I was actually reaching out to you because we have mutual friends with Maren Cranston.
Yes.
Okay, all right, cool. And so with that, she just started working with our financial firm, PFS Investments, and is actually going through some licensing with us. And so we usually like to get either a personal or professional character reference. Do you have a couple minutes to talk now?
Yeah, I have a couple minutes.
Okay, perfect. So again, we're really excited about Maren. She's going to be getting licensed in the state of Virginia to provide financial education to families, and she's going to be helping them with money. So we just like to find out a little bit about how you know her. So you could say how you know her, how long you've known her, and anything else you'd like to say about her as a person and her character.
Okay.
So go ahead.
I actually coach your kids with their sports. I've known her for about 2 or 3 years now. She seems like a really great person. She's always great with the kids.
Okay, perfect. Awesome, awesome. And so you said 2 or 3 years now, so it's been a pretty good relationship.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Anything else you'd like to say about her character specifically regarding integrity, anything like that?
I mean, she always seems like she's really great with the kids. She's always cheering them on. Very positive person. So we love having her out there.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So outside of that, the other thing that she did mention in her text to you was training. So she's going through 3 types of training right now. 1, she's studying for her state exam online. 2, she has classroom training with us a couple times a week. And 3, she has to go through some field training presentations. So she has to see about 10 training presentations on Zoom or in person. And it has to be with people that are qualified, either having family or kids. So do you fit into any of those categories yourself?
Yeah, I'm married.
Okay, married. Awesome, perfect. So do you think you and your spouse would be open to helping Maren out with one of those presentations?
I mean, we're really busy a lot of times, but for Maren, I'm sure we could find that time.
Okay, perfect. So I know Maren's available in the evenings and sometimes on the weekends, which is better for you guys.
Probably weekends like Saturdays would be best.
Okay, perfect. So Saturdays, I think we could do 12:30 or 2, which is nice.
Let's do 2.
Okay, perfect. And you guys set the appointment, right? Get the information and set it up. So that's kind of on the client side. And again, the recruiting side. Any questions there on the scripts? And we can get you the other script.
The character reference is on resource, right?
What's that?
The character reference one is on resources. Right?
Yeah, I'll forward it to Thomas and he'll send it out to you guys. All right, so next one, is LinkedIn. So this is one of my favorite ways to prospect. This is how I mainly prospect right now for my recruits. I updated my message a little bit from what it was before. So that you'll see that there's kind of 3 different messages here. It kind of happens in progression. So the first one is very short. There's not a lot of information in it, but it'll say, hey Cheryl, we're looking for customer service professional. So you can put whatever field it is that they look like they're in, right? We're looking for customer service professionals with leadership, management, or customer service experience to be part of our financial services team. You don't have to leave your full-time job. Are you interested in learning more about the opportunity? So very generalized. And most people will say, yeah, sure, send me the details. I'd like more information, or what is it about? And the next question, the next statement is I'll say, great. I think I missed the beginning part. I'll send you guys the updated version, but usually I'll say great, it's in financial services. Keep passing my phone. Sorry, guys. All right, so the message, once they respond and say, yes, I would like more information, is thanks for responding. The role would be a financial representative and mainly remote with a flexible schedule. It could be part-time or full-time. State licensing is also provided, but you would need to be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident. Why did I say that? Because I get a lot of people that are on student visas. They don't have the residency. So I just added that in there. What I usually like to do is get you as much information as possible. So we have a webinar that we can get you scheduled with all the details about the role as a financial rep, the training, compensation. Afterwards, I would like to meet with you briefly on Zoom to get to know you and see if it's a mutual fit. Would that work for you? And then most people are like, yeah, sure. When's the webinar? And then usually I'll send out my calendar link and say, hey, pick a time there, and then I'll set up a follow-up with you. So if you guys are on Level Up and you set that up, then you have that. If you don't have Level Up and you have a Google Calendar or Calendly, any of those other calendar apps, then you can send them that link and then they can schedule. Now, what if they say, no, I'm not interested, I'm not looking, I have too many things on my plate right now? Then I have the next message that I would say is you always want to ask. Just ask, worst case scenario, maybe you can get a client from this. So, okay, well, thanks for letting me know that you're not interested, Maren, but would you be open to watching a short 15-minute webinar about how I help families financially? Leave me some feedback in the survey at the end. I can send you the link and maybe you can refer me to people in the future. So I send that to people. I think I've gotten one person so far. Actually, this was a big client. It was a rollover. She had 132,000. So she didn't join the business, but she watched the webinar and was like, oh, I have a 401k. Can you teach me about that? Right? But I sent it out. A lot of people watch it, but now they might be able to set an appointment from that, even though they weren't interested in the business. So I think that's great. Anybody have questions on LinkedIn? All right. And I think the last one I have now is out and about prospecting, so face to face. So I have the initial script and when you're talking to somebody and then what I would say on the phone. So let's say you're on about, you're at a good restaurant and your waiter or waitress was awesome and you just want to ask them if they're open. So, hey, I was just wondering if you can help me out real quick. Thanks so much for your service tonight, Aaron. I actually run a financial services firm in the area and we're expanding, looking for people. Do you happen to know anybody else that might be looking for part-time or full-time work? Me? You? Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Great. Well, what I can do is I can text you my information and give you a call with more details later. Does that work? Perfect. Simple. So that could be your waiter. It could be somewhere out and about at the mall, at a store, literally anybody. You can go out and just have that simple conversation and get their number. Okay. Now, when you call them, you don't need to go into a lot of information. Okay. They already gave you their number and said they were interested, right? You already said it was financial services, so you don't need to go into a huge script. The main purpose now when you call is just to set the appointment, okay? So, hi, can I please speak to Maren?
Hi,
Hi, Maren, this is Shonda Dale. We met the other day at Ruby Tuesday. How have you been?
good, how are you?
Good. Well, I was just calling to see if we could set up a time to get you some more information about the opportunity with my company. What hours are you usually working at the restaurant?
I'm off Fridays.
On Fridays, perfect. Well, what we could do is a simple two-part process. We have a little webinar. I prefer to use the webinar. So we have a little webinar, it's about 40 minutes, and it'll give you all the information about our company, what we do for families, the training, licensing, and compensation. Then I would set up a follow-up interview on soon to address any other questions that you may have. Would that work for you?
Yes.
Cool. Have you used it before?
Yes.
Perfect. And then I'm available, you already said Friday. So then you just schedule it, guys, right? So that's pretty much it. You can go out, like for example, Josh can go out and get 10 numbers, right? Out and about, the mall, everywhere. And then you just call them that same day or the next day. And then you can set up a lot of people to the live op here. You can invite them to the webinar. You can have them watch the 20-minute video, either way. But that's another way to potentially prospect for your business. So that's all of them. Yeah. Any other questions from anybody else?
Hi,
Okay,
Dr.
cool.
Shondell. So what have we just done here? And this really is the most important training because it doesn't take any experience to do this. It doesn't really take much skill set. It just takes the will, right? So if you want to make money in business, if you want to have a lot of customers or clients, if you want to run your own business and have people under you, right? And as a part of your team, then it is going to take, depending on the extent to the success that you want, it's going to take a massive outreach on your part, right? Massive action, massive outreach. We don't wait for inbound, right? We put outbound, then inbound comes. That's how our business works. So what we've done is we've now showed you exactly what to say with people you know, people you kind of know or don't know, right? Through text, people you don't know at all through LinkedIn, people that you're just meeting out and about, people that you knew back in the day. You know, she talked about Bumble. Is there any other way that we've left out? No excuses, right? You now have the resources of how to get results in every single area in terms of just putting it out there. Now, let's say that you're brand new and you just start blasting messages and you get a lot of people back, then Josh is going to help you. Josh is going to help you. Shondell is going to help you. Tia's going to help you. But nothing should be stopping everyone from going out, starting today, and having a goal to put out 5 to 10 to 20 to however many messages. How much better time spent? We spend 8 hours at a job building someone else's company, doing the dirty work for them, but we're not willing to do the dirty work for our own company. This is your chance to not get recruited, but be the recruiter, to not be sold something, but be selling something to someone else. There's two sides to the table, right? What side of the table do you want to be on? This is just so important, guys. This is everything. And I hope people that watch this video that you'll be able to use this and figure out what your knack is, right? Shondell, she shifts. Sometimes in the past, she's been a face-to-face person. Then she was a resume person. Then she was a LinkedIn person. She's been a Facebook person during COVID, right? Now back to whatever you're doing. And so it's like, there's so many different ways to get results, but you have to go out there and you have to try. And here's the thing about this. It's so non-confrontational. I built my business literally walking up to people I didn't know when I was the most introverted, anxiety-ridden person. And that's how I built my business, right? I took my biggest weakness and I turned it into a strength. But it was very inefficient, but I still made it in Primerica doing it that way, right? Because I was great at meeting you and then getting to 100 people that you knew. So I would turn a cold market person into a warm market person. Sending messages, dude, Facebook didn't even exist when I started the business. Right? Internet was not on phones. That was like too expensive. You didn't have that yet. So we did it the hard way, the long way, the inefficient way. Now you can just go through, you can friend someone, get access to all of their friends, just send the messages out there. And here's why it's an opportune time to be talking about this right now and to actually implement it is because, you know, I talk about it every week. The economy is going to take a turn. It's normal. When things expand, they have to contract. And when things contract, then you see who the real business people are. You see who the real skillful people are. You see who the real people with money are, right? There's a lot of this happening in the last 2 years. Company says, hey, we want you back in the office. And you say, no, if I can't work remote, I'm going to go find a company that will take me remote and let me work remote. And the company's like, okay, you guys can, you know, you can stay home. Now companies, the power is shifting. Employees were going to their employers and saying, if you don't give me a raise, I'm going to leave. So they pay the $80,000 guy $100,000. Now he gets $100,000. He immediately calls a recruiter or somebody else, right? And he says, now look, I'm getting paid $100,000. How much are you willing to pay me? And now the $80,000 guy is getting paid $120,000. But as the economy shifts, less money is going into the system from the government because we know a lot of free money went out there. And when that stuff starts to contract and the economy starts to contract and employers are spending less money, people start getting laid off, the power goes back to the employers. I liked when the employees had the power. It was cool, right? But it can only last for so long. That's not the way the world works. Employees will never, for a long period of time, have the power. The power is going back to employers. They want people back in the office, and they're not going to overpay people. They're going to figure out how much you're getting paid, how much they want to pay you, how much they can afford to pay you. And if you want a job, you're going to go back to 80 from 120. So how non-confrontational is this? Hey, would you keep your options open for an opportunity where you can work from anywhere, make money part-time? We'll provide the licensing, we provide the training. You don't have to quit your full-time job. In the environment that we've been in, people were very arrogant and maybe they weren't as receptive because they're making money in crypto, they're making money in stocks. All that is down now, right? If anyone told you that they're still up on their stock account last 2 years, I'm telling you definitively they're lying. Call me. I want to know what you were in. I know it all, right? Show me your crypto account. You lost money. Everybody's down. Tell me your shit coin where you made a ton of money. It's gone, right? And I'm not a crypto hater. 3-4 years, it'll be back. But right now, all that money's gone. People are going to be looking for an opportunity to recover a little bit from all the wealth destruction that's taken place over the last literally weeks and months, couple of months. It's crazy how quickly things have stalled out, right? So you have to know as a business owner when to kind of put your foot on the gas. This is the time to recruit, man. People are going to be leaving jobs, changing jobs, taking pay cuts, getting more desperate, and we got to step in and we got to take advantage of that in a good way by offering them financial plans, by rolling over 401ks, offering them a part-time opportunity, full-time opportunity. Maybe you want to run a business. So I think it's a great time. So appreciate everyone getting on Zoom today. Let's make sure that we set a ton of appointments. Let's clean up the room, and we are approaching, today's what, 11th? All right, so we're approaching half the month, and then we're going to run into the convention. So I want to go to the convention with a lot of momentum. Make sure you set up your appointments for the week so we can hit our goals. All right, team on 3. 1, 2, 3.